107.1 in Luton. Warm welcome to all of you listeners. We are, of course, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter as well, I believe, and online at salamradio.co.uk, and, of course, via our iPhone and Android apps. We're always on air for you 24/7, 365, uniting all communities. Now, Salaam Radio is all about creating unity within the Muslim and a wider community, delivering the positive message of true Islam and promoting peace and harmony. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. As usual, of course, you can get involved in the show today. You can send us a WhatsApp message on 07745 278 978, or you can give us a call and we'll have you through on air in the studio on 01733 602 133, or of course you can send us a Facebook Live message. Now, this week we've got a very funny man for you. We've got comedian Aatif Nawaz, who's going to be joining us in a few minutes to talk about his career to date and current and future work. Lots of interesting things we'll be discussing. Now, some of you in Peterborough, like me, would have recently seen Aatif Nawaz perform as host at the recent Big Muslim variety show, where he did a superb job and had us all in stitches throughout the night recently in Peterborough at the Broadway Theatre. So please stay with us for Aatif, which is coming up right after this from Omar Isa.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me tell you about my happiness. I get my happiness from Islam. It makes me kind and a better human. Oh, please come with me and I'll show you why. I smile because I'm happy. I'm a Muslim, that's what makes me happy, and that's the truth. Because I'm happy, because I have the noble Quran, and that's where I get my rose. Because I'm happy, because my Lord is merciful and He is the forgiving one. Because I'm happy and I have the sunnah which dictates what my life should do. Okay, come on. In Islam we have one God. Muhammad is His final messenger. Peace be upon Him. We are taught to love and respect Him. Don't believe what you hear about Islam. I smile because I'm happy. I'm a Muslim, that's what makes me happy, and that's the truth. Because I'm happy, because I have the noble Quran, and that's where I get my rose. Because I'm happy, because my Lord is merciful and He is the forgiving one. Because I'm happy and I have the sunnah which dictates what my life should do. I just wanna tell the world that we're happy. Just because we're Muslim doesn't mean we're angry. But when we see our fellow Muslims that are suffering, we just wanna help cause we're one big family. I'm happy, I'm a Muslim, that's what makes me happy, and that's the truth. Because I'm happy, cause I have the noble Quran, and that's where I get my rose. Because I'm happy, cause my Lord is merciful and He is the forgiving one. Because I'm happy and I have the sunnah which dictates what my life should do. Because I'm happy, I'm a Muslim, that's what makes me happy, and that's the truth. Because I'm happy, cause I have the noble Quran, and that's where I get my rose. Because I'm happy, cause my Lord is merciful and He is the forgiving one. Because I'm happy and I have the sunnah which dictates what my life should do. I'm so happy I'm a Muslim.
That was Omar Isa with Happy, a tune I'm sure most of you will recognise from Pharrell Williams, of course. Now, earlier on, I was just telling you that luckily we've got Aatif Nawaz joining us in a moment. Now, Aatif is a very award-winning British-Pakistani television presenter and stand-up comedian, of course. And he's also won acclaim for his acting, filmmaking, radio presenting and writing. And he's one of the most respected acts on the circuit today. Aatif has built himself a reputation as one of the most popular British Asian comics in the UK today. Assalamu alaikum, Aatif. How are you doing this evening?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm very, very well, brother. I'm much better now, actually. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had a difficult day. But alhamdulillah, I'm happy now.
Oh no, no. So are we talking health issues, or is it just a bad day?
Do you know what? It's one of those days where everything just went wrong. You know, I went downstairs to my car. I wanted to drive to the local mosque for Jummah, and I had a flat tire, right?
Oh no.
And as I bent down to take a look at the tire, my left ear popped. Okay.
Oh no.
And now, as in it hasn't popped, it's blocked. I don't know what the reverse adjective is, but yeah. So that happened, and then I went to I tried to sort out the wheel. I know how to change a tire and stuff, but I had to take it to the garage. It turned out I've got to replace 2 of my wheels.
Oh.
No. So I had to do that, and that took up most of my day, and I still hadn't popped my ear. And I've tried everything, man. Like I must have looked like a very strange character on the motorway, just holding my nose in my mouth and just breathing out, and I'm getting air out of everywhere, alhamdulillah, just not my ear. So, if there's any of your listeners listening right now that can help me pop my right ear, I will be very, very grateful.
Well, I'll keep an eye on the WhatsApp messages. Somebody might have some great advice for you, Aatif. You never know. So let's see how we go with that. First of all, Aatif, thank you for joining us today. It's a great pleasure to have you on air. And I've got to say, awesome job as host of the Big Muslim Variety Show recently here in Peterborough. We all loved the way you kept the show going, and you had us all in stitches. In fact, I was there next to my son. You might recall an eager 12-year-old celebrating how single he was, and you picked on him regarding Shadi.com and his shoes. Yeah, that was my son.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I love about performing at these shows, and Jazakallah for the compliment, I appreciate that, because I know I was actually stepping into sub for Abdullah Afzal, who obviously is very popular and he's fantastic as well, but he wasn't so well, so I was just jumping into sub for him. And alhamdulillah, I really enjoyed it, It was a really nice event. I performed at Peterborough once before that, for a Muslim show. And it was just, it was lovely. It was a really nice atmosphere. I love that at the Muslim shows, there's kids there, right? When you go play to the comedy clubs, in the mainstream or kind of, on the regular comedy circuit, there's very rarely kids there. So when there's kids there, it's a different dynamic. I really enjoy that. I love kids. So just talking to them, playing with them, messing around with them, with the kind of language and stuff, it's really fun. And it's just something different. It's a novelty just for me to be able to do that. And they tend to enjoy it. Did he have a good time?
He loved it. He loved it. As clearly did all the other kids in the theatre. I mean, it was you were interacting with them a lot, and it was just made for great comedy. So it was just awesome, really good. I was really impressed with your skills. So I've got to ask you this question. I'm sure you've been asked it many times. So forgive me, but I've got to ask you: how and when did you first get involved in comedy?
I first got into comedy nearly 11 years ago now.
Oh wow!
Where I was an actor. I trained to be an actor. And I was trying to get that going on, and it wasn't really happening. And I remember watching Omid Jalili, who's a fantastic British-Iranian comedian.
Yeah.
I watched him on Live at the Apollo in 2006. And I watched it, and I just thought, wow, I just loved everything about what he was doing. And I looked at him and thought, I would love to do that for a career.
Yeah.
And, a few things happened. I remember I went to a Bollywood dance showcase event that my friend was organizing in 2007. And we were there, and their CD kind of malfunctioned, so they needed to burn a new CD. And I don't know if you remember this, brother, but in 2007, it would take 49 minutes to burn a new CD.
I remember very well.
Right? So they needed to kill 40 minutes or something for the live audience that were there. And my friend kind of, pleaded with me to take the mic and just kind of riff, which I did. And, it was such a great feeling. I just kind of chased that feeling ever since, and kind of looked up open mic nights and stuff. And now, obviously, there's a lot more information now in 2000. But at the time, it was very difficult. It was very much a closed club.
Yeah.
To try and become a comedian was very difficult. But, alhamdulillah, a lot of supportive friends and family. And, when I kind of left my job a few years later, my full-time job to do stand-up full-time, I very understand. I mean, just incredible parents who were just like, go follow your dreams, son.
Mashallah.
And, how many people have that privilege? So I was just very grateful. And alhamdulillah, I always, I always think back to the time where, the truth is, guys, I wasn't very good. When I started, I just wasn't. I wasn't very good. I mean, I had some skill, but I certainly, it's something that you learn with time. Yeah. You only become a good comic with the more time you spend on stage, and, the more time, the more experience you have, the different environments you get used to playing to. And, you've got to have, some people think you've got to kind of plow through your routine, your material, the things you've prepared. And that's fine, but sometimes you have to find a way to make that stuff connect with the people in front of you, who could be anybody. One day it could be people who are really up for it, jokey, laughy. Another day it could be a more stern crowd. I've performed in audiences as diverse as music festivals and mosques. you know. So and segregated audiences like everywhere. Over time, when you've experienced all of that, you know, you really are inherently grateful, almost for the naivety and faith you have in the beginning when you make the leap.
No, it's so that first time. Just going back to the story where it was your first time. That was obviously an impromptu performance, right? You had no clue you were going to get up there. But when you'd finished, are you saying you filled 40 minutes? Is that pretty much what you did?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I did. Wow. I thought about. Well, I think it was more like 30. I mean, something like that. I mean, something in that ballpark, and it was. There were no jokes per se. It was more riffing and things like that.
Of course, yeah. Interacting. I would imagine interacting with and engaging with the audience.
I mean. It was a huge crowd. I mean, they weren't there to see comedy or anything. They were there mostly to see their kids dance, right? It was like a dance show, right? So they were there to see their kids dance to, you know, kind of choreographed, intricate Bollywood, got the kind of, I don't know, like, you know, classical Indian dancing. And you know, I was supporting my friend who put the show together, and I had no intention of doing anything other than just kind of watching and supporting and probably sneaking out halfway and sending a text saying, hey, that was fun. But you never know what's going to happen, right? And there I was, and there I got to. And as I say, man, it's an incredible thing. Like, I was always a performer, right? I was always a performer. I always knew I wanted to perform. I always thought acting was what I wanted to do. And then after I discovered, it really was a turning point watching Omid, right? Like, what he did. And he's a great actor. And over the years, I've got to know him, and I've performed with him. He's become a mentor to me.
Mashallah.
You know, it's such a privilege to, you know, have one of your heroes become one of your peers. You know, it's just amazing.
That is amazing. And what a mentor to have. I mean, this guy's, he's on the world stage. I mean, he's been in films like The Infidels, one of my favourite movies that he's ever done.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. But, I mean, you must have learned a lot from him. But also, I know for a fact, having done a bit of research, that you're also helping up-and-coming comics as well, because you've performed at this club in Malta a few times, and I know you're kind of the headline act at this club, and I think you're kind of helping those guys who are newer to the comedy scene to kind of find their way and hone their act as well, aren't you?
Well, you know, I don't like advertise or anything, but like I'm always happy to, because as I say, I've got sort of the benefit of 10+ years of experience of doing this, and it's a non-traditional career. It's difficult to, you know, I've kind of worked out how to make a living, and there's very few of us that can still do it full time. You know, there's people like Guz Khan and people like Abdul Rashid and Saz Elias and many more. And Bilal Zafar, I was talking to him yesterday, he's on tour. I mean, it's hard to turn it into a legitimate career. It's hard because even now, there's millions of obstacles, there's absurd amounts of competition, and if you live somewhere like London, like I do, it's really, you know, the cost of living is pricey. So, you know, and also you got to make adjustments to your lifestyle and things like that. But I get emails and messages, and on my Facebook or my Instagram page, I get so many messages from people who say things like, you know, I really want to try it. How do I do it? What's the skill? Like, how much do I need to write? And, you know, people ask me questions all the time, and I try and reply to everybody if I can.
Wow.
In fact, I'm not even trying. I do reply to pretty much everybody.
That's amazing.
Particularly, it's fine. It's like, you know, I'm happy to do it. I'm very happy to do it, you know, because I was grateful, because when I was starting out, there were people who helped me, right? So you pay it forward, obviously.
Of course.
You know, it's nice because a lot of people, they show you that gratitude for that help. Malta was a weird one. I was actually on tour in December in the UK with a friend of mine who used to promote comedy in London. He's now moved to Malta, and he set up a comedy show there. Yeah. And he just kind of wanted like a reasonable London act to come and perform there. And I'd never been to Malta before, so I said, okay, let's go check this place out. Yeah. Did you know they have 365 churches in Malta? One for every day of the year.
Wow. So, because it's Roman Catholic, isn't it, essentially?
Malta? It is. They've got one mosque on the whole island, just one mosque. Okay. I was driving past with the cab driver. I said to him, "Oh, is that a mosque?" He's like, "Yep, that's the mosque." I'm like, "What's it called? What's the mosque called?" He's like, "Oh, there's only one, so we just call it the mosque." That was great, wonderful. I remember that for Friday. But yeah, I mean, I just performed there, and like, you know, I think for those guys, they don't really have a comedy scene there. They have a few kind of pro comedy nights that are put on by English or American promoters. Yeah. But like, they don't have a local scene. So all these kind of, they're not, I mean, young comics in terms of the amount of time they've spent on stage. Right. Like, they come and they want to try and perform, and just for them to kind of get some advice, get some experience, and watch somebody who's done it, you know, it's a wonderful ego boost for me as well. I'm not going to lie. They're so friendly, and they're so, you know, they're so reassured. Like, it's just great. I come back feeling like $1 million or euros.
Now, Sorry, Aatif, sorry to cut you off.
Please.
I'm conscious of the time, and I've got a lot to cover. Now, there's a lot I want to
Of
ask
course,
you. But
please do your thing, brother. I'm really enjoying this.
Oh, great. Well, I'm pleased to hear that. That's awesome. Now, you're working on a TV pilot, I think, aren't you? Or in the midst of working on something. What can you tell us about that?
I can't tell you very much, sadly, because I'm one of those people who's really, like, you know, I've been very fortunate in the industry, but at the same time, I've been very unlucky. And, you know, I have this joke where everything bad that can happen to you in the industry has happened to me.
Oh, no.
Which is not true, but, like, it's just an exaggerated form of, you know, things fall through, and you do this, and you plan this, and somebody promises this, but there's a way for everything to fall apart. So, I mean, without revealing too much, I'm very excited about the project. I'm getting a few comics together on it.
Good.
Excuse me, two of my very good friends, Mani Liaquat and Nabil Abdul Rashid.
Oh, awesome.
They're both involved. Like, you know, I've written things specifically. So it's kind of built around, it's like an ensemble performance by comedians.
Yeah.
The channel that I'm speaking to, they really, really like my work, which is, alhamdulillah, really good.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, inshallah, we'll get something in production before the Edinburgh Festival, which is August. So by the end of the year, maybe, I don't know. If nothing else, I'm going to text Guz and get him to give me a cameo in the next series of Man Like Mubin. That's my backup plan.
That's brilliant. Now, you've mentioned the Edinburgh Festival. Of course, you've got a new show, I think, called Aatif Flicks, if I've got that right.
Yeah.
Now, you've got this show coming up, and I know you've got some work-in-progress shows happening in London, right? You've done one, and you've got two more coming on the 21st of March and the 25th of April.
Amazing research. I love this. This is incredible.
Oh, I'm just doing my job, bro. That's how it is. You know what I mean?
You're doing it well, mashallah. You're doing it very well.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that. So, my question is, how did that first one go? That first work-in-progress show go at the Top Secret Comedy Club?
It was good. Like, I mean, it's a work in progress, so it's a chance to kind of, you know, try things out. For the early work in progress, I have my notepad on stage with me as well.
Yeah.
You try and keep it very small.
Oh, I think we've actually lost Aatif, unfortunately. Yeah, he's on his mobile, so we're going to try and get him back, inshallah. But yeah, just while he's off air, and I can actually promote this show that he's doing. So this is at the Top Secret Comedy Club in London. I think it's on Drury Lane. And these shows, surprisingly, are free, because this is Aatif testing out new material for his Edinburgh show, which is taking place, obviously, in August at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So the next two shows he's got is the 21st of March and the 25th of April. And if you go on topsecretcomedyclub.co.uk, you can actually book your tickets free of charge to see Aatif perform this show. And it is a work in progress of his Edinburgh show, because he's honing his act and he's trying to get it ready for Edinburgh, which is what all comedians do. They all do warm-up gigs, and promote their show. Now, I've actually already booked my tickets for the 21st of March, because luckily I work in London, and after work I can just pop up the road and see Aatif perform this new act called Aatif Flicks. Now, he's done Edinburgh shows before, and I think this one is going to be slightly different. It's going to be focused on social media and its impact on our psyche. So it's going to be interesting. And I think he's, when I saw him at the Big Muslim Variety Show and he was hosting, there were some jokes that were centered around social media, namely people over 35 using Snapchat, and he just made a fantastic little set piece about that. So it's definitely worth something checking out. I think we're trying to get him back now, and I think I think he's on air. Assalamu alaikum, are you back with us, Aatif?
Well, I am. You know what? I have no idea where I started. I was talking for ages just to myself on my phone.
Oh no!
I have no idea. We got cut off. What was the last thing I said?
I think you were talking about this Top Secret Comedy Club and the work in progress of Aatif Flicks, how that show was going, the first one that you did.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really, really cool. I mean, Top Secret Comedy Club is like one of the iconic comedy clubs in the country, really.
Yeah.
You know, people like Amy Schumer and,
oh, wow.
You know, some really top-level comics have come and played it. Trevor Noah's played there as well.
Wow.
So, you know, it's a really cool place to perform. And, you know, the club, like, the first time they saw me was last year, when I was opening for Paul Chowdhury, when he was doing his warm-up tour. And, you know, Paul's also like such an amazing mentor for me to learn from, particularly just the pride in your performance. So, you know, when you perform sort of like 250, 300 nights a year, there's a tendency to want to phone it in sometimes, but he never phones it in.
Wow.
Paul goes the extra mile every night. And, you know, there's this thing he told me, like, when doing work in progress, it's for you. Work in progress is not for the audience. It is for you.
Yeah.
It's for you to learn what is good, what is bad, gauge things, say them out loud, work out, you know, maybe the order of the way you're going to do things, the way you're going to execute things. It's practice. But there are people in front of you, respect the performance, respect the fact that they've come to see you, and make sure that they leave happy. So, like, his words always stayed with me.
Wow.
And, I'm just grateful. He's been incredible. As I say, I've been very fortunate. Like, people like him have opened the door for, comics like me to play these incredible mainstream clubs and on a regular basis and be able to talk about, I like to talk about Islam a lot. And, in America, when you refer too much to your race or your religion, they consider it a crutch, right? Yeah. That you're talking about, it's just a crutch. It's such a dull, you don't have any real social critique. But, I am a Muslim. It's a huge part of my life. Like, everything that I do, everything, that's me. I'm a practicing Muslim. So, it's very difficult for me not to talk about it. And I want to talk about it. I think it's different and engaging to what other Muslims might be talking about. So, it's just one of those things. Like, I love that there's comics out there that are making sure that we've got a nice canvas to play with, and Top Secret is one of those. I've got 2 more previews to go. If there's anybody about that wants to come see, by all means, come on down. It's free entry, so you get what you pay for.
We got cut off and you were off air, I was telling our listeners that that the fact that it is free, and I've actually booked my ticket, so I will be there on the 21st of March, inshallah, and I'll.
Oh wow!
I'll be good. It'll be actually good to meet you properly that night, inshallah.
Yeah, I'll be lovely. It'll be my pleasure. Like, again, keep your expectations low. It is work in progress.
No, of course. But
the idea is, like, it's not the first proper performance of the show. Oddly enough, is going to be in Malta. On I think it's the 28th of July. Yeah, the 28th of July. I'm doing two performances in Malta. Okay. One of my previous show, Artificial Intelligence. These are in kind of really big theatres. Yeah. And then Artiflix, will have its proper kind of debut at the first night of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is in August. Wow. So I got a long way to go before it's ready. Absolutely. As a show, but it is still fun, and I think people enjoy it. So anybody that's been inappropriately tagged on Facebook and things, or had to spend hours untagging and unfriending people because they get angry, it's a good show for those people.
No, fantastic. I look forward to that. And I did let the listeners know when we lost you that the show is centered around social media and its impact on our psyche, or something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty much
that's exactly it. Yeah. I remember being really angry. Like, there was a day where everything I did kind of revolved around unnecessary social media things. So, I did this podcast where I had to recommend my favorite Netflix show, my favorite streaming shows. And for the life of me, I couldn't think of one at the time. I know, which is bizarre because so much is streamed these days, but the whole platform was about stream. And then, like, I've opened Facebook and I've been tagged in 17 things that have nothing to do with, it's just people kind of promoting whatever it is they're trying to promote by tagging people. People need to understand social media etiquette, right? You don't just randomly tag people in things that have nothing to do with them. People work hard to build their own platform. If you're good or your content is interesting, people will gravitate to it over time. It just really annoyed me, man. But, I find a way to make light of it and make it fun in the show and that kind of stuff. And, that's great. Inshallah, by the time August rolls around, I'll know exactly how to describe it to people.
No, I'm sure. Listen, we've got the best part of 2 minutes left, and I've got one question left for you, and that is around the Edinburgh show. Well, it's actually 2 questions. First of all, how many shows will you actually be doing in Edinburgh? Do you know that yet?
Yeah, 25.
25 shows. Wow. Yeah. That's a run, isn't it? And my next question is followed up to that. So from your first show to your end show, I'm imagining that not just you, but all comedians, your show, I would imagine, changes somewhat, doesn't it, in terms of the very first show to the end one, in terms of you honing the act while you're doing the Fringe Festival. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that happens.
No, you got. If you're serious about it, you got to have the show honed before you get to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. That is like, it's almost like you're doing a West End run. If you went to the Lion King, you wouldn't want it to be good in September and better in January. It needs to be amazing in September and the same level all the way through January.
I totally get
mentality for Edinburgh.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, Aatif, but I suppose my question probably wasn't worded very well. But from the first show to the end show, is there any change in your show at all? I mean, I know you've done your warm-ups and your work in progress, etc., but does your show change at all from the 1st to the 25th? Or not?
The truth is, it does a little bit. You incorporate certain things, you may adjust certain things, but ideally not a lot. The soul of it stays the same. The kind of the essence of the message stays the same. And that you just want to aim for. You get points for consistency in Edinburgh as well. Reviewers and the panel, the judges, the competition, they all value that consistency, and I understand the ethos behind that. So it's something I aim for myself as well.
Yeah,
and I try to do with my previous shows too.
Aatif, listen, it's been amazing talking to you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm looking forward to meeting you on the 21st, inshallah. And
I look forward to hosting it.
No, it'd be great, and inshallah we'll have you back on soon. But thank you so much for your time this evening, and good luck with all your projects that you're doing. Inshallah, it'll be all successful for you. Inshallah.
But Jazakallah, I appreciate that, bro. I've really enjoyed the interview. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope everybody, the audience at Salaam Radio and Inspire, and everybody else who can hear this, enjoyed it. And somebody out there will tweet me or Facebook me with a cure for popping ears.
We're out of time, Aatif. Salam alaikum. Thank you very much.
Wa alaikum salam.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
140 million children around the world today are orphans, living with no hope of a future or an education. For just 50 pence a day, you can transform an orphan's life and give them the secure future they deserve. Call 03000 11 11 11 now, or visit www.pennyappeal.org. Penny Appeal, small change, big difference.
Who is responsible for raising our children? Lecture and presentation by guest speaker Yusuf Patel, founder of SRE Islamic, London. What are your children being taught in school? Can parents opt out of relationship education? What are your legal rights? How do you build a relationship with your child's school and find out what they are learning? Come along and find out the answers to all of these questions and more at this informative talk. Free event, Sunday the 11th of March from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Masjid Khadija, 311 Cromwell Road, Peterborough, PE1 2HP. Don't miss out on this rare opportunity. For further details, please visit the Salaam Radio Facebook page.
Is your child spending too long on their tablet or games console? Are they getting enough exercise? How about introducing them to wrestling? Futua Freestyle Wrestling Club is the only wrestling club in the Peterborough area registered to the British Wrestling Association. Wrestling is a prophetic sunnah sport that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions regularly participated in. Wrestling at a young age helps with flexibility, fitness, self-confidence and teamwork. Our sessions are taught by a top British wrestling coach with over 20 years experience. Every Monday and Wednesday at the Gladstone Park Community Centre on Borge Boulevard, 5:30 to 6:40 p.m. for ages 4 to 7 and 6:45 to 8 p.m. for ages 8 to 13. Monthly fees are only £10 for 8 classes ages 4 to 7 and only £15 for 8 classes ages 8 to 13. Your first session is free, so come and give us a try. To enrol, contact 07971 448847. Futua Freestyle Wrestling Club, every Monday and Wednesday at the Gladstone Park Community Centre.
क्या आप अमार फूड स्टोर आ चुके हैं? अगर नहीं तो जनाब तशरीफ ले आइए और हमारी स्पेशल ऑफर से फायदा उठाइए। A great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits, आटा, चावल, दालें, ड्रिंक्स, हलाल मीट के अलावा और बहुत कुछ, यानी एक ही छत तले सब कुछ। अमार फूड स्टोर फ्री पार्किंग के साथ साथ कार्ड पेमेंट एक्सेप्ट करते हैं और आपको फ्री डिलीवरी सर्विस की सहूलत भी फराहम करते हैं। हमारे यहाँ बिल्स पेमेंट और मनी ट्रांसफर की सहूलत भी मौजूद है। अमार फूड स्टोर एंड हलाल मीट, 613B लिंकन रोड, ट्रायंगल, पीटरबरो, या फिर फोन कीजिए 01733 अमार फूड स्टोर, मयार का नाम, मुनासिब दाम।
Feel like some great tasting chicken tonight? Great meal deals, wraps, burgers and sides. We've got it all at Chicken Palace. Call and collect at 302 Lincoln Road on 01733 702 447 or 8 Park Road on 01733 343750. Chicken Palace, open 11 a.m. till late.
Gems and jewels, wise sayings, interesting events, and moral lessons from Islamic history. The Intelligent Questioner.
It is said that a beggar went to a rich man.
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Assalamu alaikum listeners, welcome back to Friday Night Prime. I am of course Amr Suleiman, this is of course Friday Night, and this is Friday Night Prime. Welcome. Welcome again to our listeners at Inspire FM 105.1. We were joined earlier by Aatif Nawaz, who clearly had a lot to say, mashallah. He's certainly got a lot to say, and inshallah, I'm going to remind you, if you are able to see him in London on the 21st of March, please get yourself down to the Top Secret Comedy Club. Not so secret because I'm telling you on air, but it's a Top Secret Comedy Club, Drury Lane, 6:30, doors open at 6. It's an hour-long show. Again, it's him practicing and honing and rehearsing his Edinburgh show, and the tickets are free, so you can book them online, topsecretcomedyclub.co.uk. Now, I'm going to play a track from Unity, one of my favourites, but after that we're going to try something a bit different for Friday Night Prime. I'm joined, for those that can see on Facebook, by my son and daughter Jannat and Ali Suleiman, and Jannat's been on the show a few times. This is the first time for Ali, but what we thought we'd do, something a bit light-hearted for Friday Night Prime. Normally we have quite serious topics, so this show we've had a comedian, and now we're going to talk about stories from around the world that we've researched which amused us. These are amusing but true news stories from around the world which are actually quite ridiculous, and we've all got a few to share, and we're going to talk about them, but that's going to be straight after this track, which is again one of my favourites. This is Building Bridges by Unity. So we're with you in a couple of minutes, inshallah.
I remember the days we were never apart. Time was always on our side, but now you're gone, I'm alone, but I still stay strong, 'cause I'll see you again someday. God knows it's hard for me, so hard for me. Without you, you're by my side, but I have faith that Allah will see the good in you, and I'll see you again in Jannah. I'm building bridges to the sky with every breath that I take. I hope to get there someday, one day. It takes my breath away. I hope to take it all in, spend eternity with thee. I hope to get there someday, one day. I hope to see you there. Dreams we had, thoughts we shared, keeps on playing in my head. I see your face all the time, but I can't rewind the day that you left me. Pictures can take your place, pillows can fill your space. Allah, please help me. I put my faith in you, and I'll remain true. Reunite us in Jannah. I'm building bridges to the sky with every breath that I take. I hope to get there someday, one day. It takes my breath away. I hope to take it all in, spend eternity within. I hope to get there someday, one day. I hope to see you there, yeah, yeah. Oh Allah, please take me home to the place I belong, in her arms, oh Allah. I'm building bridges to the sky with every breath that I take. I hope to get there someday, one day. It takes my breath away. I hope to take it all in, spend eternity within. I hope to get there someday, one day. I hope to see you there.
That was Building Bridges by Unity. Very nice track, and one which is kind of easy listening. But as I said to you before, listeners, I am joined by my son and daughter this evening. Jannat is a welcome face to Friday Night Prime, but Ali is not. He's fairly new. Assalamu alaikum, Jannat.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
Very good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting. Ali, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Looking forward to this?
Yeah.
Nervous?
Yes.
Good. Good answer. It's good to be nervous. So, listeners, what we've decided to do, just to change things a little bit Friday Night Prime now and then, maybe once a month we'll do this, is we'll come and bring you stories from around the world, which are actually, some of them are just beyond belief. And I'll kick things off. I mean, this is some research that I've done. We've all personally done our own research and want to share stories that we found personally amusing, right?
Yeah, we haven't told each other either. So
we haven't told each other.
Surprise.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise. So I'm going to start things off. So this is pensioners' radio sparks a call to the police. So a bad-tempered German pensioner could be charged with wasting police time after complaining about loud music from her own radio.
What?
I know. So Elsie Weiss, 71, crucial that her age is 71, from Mulheim, called the police late at night to complain she couldn't sleep because of the noise. But police who turned up to investigate found the music was coming from the pensioner's own radio and that she'd left on full volume in the back garden earlier in the day.
How did she not notice it was coming from so close?
Well, obviously her age has something to do. I think maybe she was a bit deaf as well. So the police said they were considering sending her a bill for the time spent on the call and said she had taken the radio outside, left it switched on full volume when she went back inside. And a neighbour said she always plays her music really loud, and for once she gave herself a taste of her own medicine. So bless the elderly, you know, when the hearing goes, she left her radio on full blast, but she called the police to complain about the noise and it was her own radio.
That's silly.
I think, was there something wrong with it?
Something wrong with the radio or something wrong with her ears?
I think both.
A bit both.
I think her ears. Yeah. Okay, John, do you want to give us one?
Yeah. So this is one of my favourites that I found. So this was in the north of England, and it was a couple of months ago now. But, you know, there are those claw machines in arcades and stuff like that.
Oh, where you lose like $4,000 trying to win a teddy bear.
Basically. So this woman who was about 20, 25 or something. Oh, sorry, 34. She had spent about £7 trying to win one of these fluffy toys from the claw machine.
I've done that.
And she got £7.
I've done that. And that was you when you were about 4.
That's a bit embarrassing.
I want a teddy.
Okay, let's move
on. £7 later.
Move on. £7.
Go on.
Anyway, so she was just about to win a teddy bear. It was right on the edge of falling into the little collection box, and there was no one else around, and it was stuck there, and there was a broom on the side. So, and this was on CCTV afterwards. So she shoved the broom up the little entrance
where the teddy falls out.
Yeah, where it falls out, and she did it, and the teddy was just about to fall in, but then she realised, she could grab it. So she put her hand up there, got too carried away. Half her body ends up the claw machine.
Hang on.
Half her body.
Hang on. I know these where the teddies come out, they're really small.
She was quite skinny. She was a skinny woman.
Evidently.
Yeah, very skinny.
And there must have been big teddy bears then, otherwise.
They were.
Yeah, either she was really skinny or the teddy bears were massive.
Yeah.
But she went halfway up the machine and then was stuck, then got pulled out, and 7 teddy bears came out with her, and then she claimed that she'd won them all.
So just by chance 7 came out?
7 came out.
£7.
Oh, she's done all right.
Yeah.
Not that we recommend that sort of behaviour.
No. And then she was investigated for theft.
And rightly so.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she didn't win them in a halal manner.
It was not halal. Not halal teddy bears.
She won one.
She won one, I suppose, yeah. Ali, what have you got for us?
So, this is basically my dream, to be honest. So, a Mini caught speeding at Mach 3. So,
hang on, just stop for a second. A Mini?
Yeah.
Remember, I haven't heard these.
Yeah.
A Mini, i.e. the car,
Yeah.
caught speeding at Mach 3.
So, yeah,
Do you know what Mach 3 is?
Yeah, 3 times the speed of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Go on,
How
I'm
is that
intrigued.
possible?
So, a Belgian motorist had been sent a speeding ticket for travelling at 2,100 miles per hour, which, personally, I'm not being sarcastic or anything, but I'd love to be in that car right there. But
Going way too fast.
But anyway, the ticket claimed he'd been doing Mach 3 in his Mini in a Brussels city suburb. Police have apologised for the mistake and have blamed a faulty radar.
I'd say.
And
that might need to be... they need to get the weights and measures people in for that one.
Yeah, and they said human error was to blame for sending out the ticket, even though it was clear the man's car couldn't have been travelling at 3 times the speed of sound.
So his speeding ticket actually said 2,100 miles per hour?
Exactly.
This is great. And by the way, listeners, this is all true stuff you're hearing. It's not made up. These are actually true stories. It's bizarre. Was there any more to that story, Ellie?
No.
Wow.
Yeah,
If you're not, I think that's what you're going to be like when you start driving. You'll be going that fast.
You probably will. You probably will, Ellie. Right, this one tickled me. So police say screams, in quotes, were a yodeling pensioner. So German police, again we're in Germany, German police were investigating reports of screams coming from a flat and found a pensioner practicing for a yodeling exam.
Okay.
The woman's neighbours in Offenbach, how's that? Offenbach.
Sounds German.
Doesn't it? Offenbach called police after becoming concerned about the noise. Police say the 76-year-old was yodeling Bavarian folk tunes. And the Offenbach Post says officers think her neighbours may be unfamiliar with the songs. They say an alternative explanation for the incident is that she needs more singing practice. But yodeling, can you yodel, Ellie?
Please don't try.
Oh, should I? Should I just embarrass? Just to embarrass her? No.
I think you'll be embarrassing yourself.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Janet, can you yodel?
No.
I remember you used to want to be a yodeler.
I don't remember that point in my life.
I could be making it up.
You probably are.
Okay.
I remember
Go on, do you know what you got for us?
Right, so this was, not sure where, Eastern Europe. It was in Eastern Europe, and a woman turns up at an A&E department, and her hair is all over the place, this woman. So listeners, try and picture this. She's got...
Sadly, for those on Facebook, I can't picture having hair all over the place.
Oh.
But one of being economic in the hair department.
Economic.
Anyway, carry on.
And basically what had happened is that she thought she was putting hair mousse in her hair, and I don't understand how this could have happened, but instead she put expanding builder's foam in her hair.
You are joking.
No, completely true.
What did she think she was reaching for?
Hair mousse.
Oh, to be honest, that's an easy mistake.
Yeah.
No, but one has to question why builder's foam and hair mousse were next to each other in the first place.
Maybe she was on the phone or something, and she'd had building happening at her house. And you know, some buildings, they just leave everything everywhere.
Yeah.
And, next to the hair mousse?
Maybe she moved the hair mousse.
Yeah.
What was the expanding foam called? Head and Shoulders.
That's funny.
That's not bad.
That's quite good.
I'll have that one.
Yeah, well, you have.
Okay.
And you've said it.
Oh, it's Hod, isn't it? It's not Hod, it's Hod. Hod and Shoulders. Even better.
There you go.
Okay.
So, come on, what happened then? What happened to her?
Well, so it resulted in basically a rock hard helmet of cavity filler. And
Because this stuff, right, this builder's foam,
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, it expands really quickly and it just dries rock hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
because it's for like filling gaps in walls and things like that, and just putting.
And she sprayed this in her hair.
She not only sprayed it but fully massaged it into her scalp and everything.
What was the what was the result?
Well, there wasn't any information about what happened when she got there, but there was a picture of her when she got there, and there was. One can only imagine what must have happened because she had twigs in her hair. There were
Twigs?
dead leaves. So
Hang on. Dead leaves.
dead leaves.
Oh my goodness me.
So God knows what happened to her, but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
That was silly.
Yeah.
But I mean, actually, that's actually quite. I feel for her because imagine having that in your head. It must have been horrific. To get it out must have been. I mean, they probably got a chisel out to get that out.
Probably, but I don't know. I would have been so embarrassed turning up anywhere like that. Why did it have dead leaves? What happened?
Does it actually say dead leaves?
Accessorised with dead leaves.
I thought that was just a little embellishment of yours.
No, but it would have been a good one had
No, I
that
don't
been
know.
the
I
case.
disagree. Ali, what have you got?
I think this one is it's just life to me. So
It's just life. How old are you?
No, I'm 12.
Hang on a sec. How old are you? It's just life. You've been there and done that, have you?
Not just life to me, but it's just life to many people. So it could. So this is called Italian prisoner prefers cell to wife.
Oh my goodness.
As in prison cell.
Yes.
Brilliant. Go on.
So
Italian prisoner prefers prison cell to wife.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I might understand this one.
That's horrible.
She's watching. She
is watching.
Go on.
An Italian prisoner who was given home leave for good behaviour asked to go back to his cell after spending less than a day with his wife.
Oh my goodness.
I just think it's crazy. The 40-year-old was given a 72-hour pass by the governor at the prison near Pavia in northern Italy. But within minutes of meeting his wife, they had an argument and he called the prison asking to be taken back inside.
That's silly.
I know. And a spokesman at the jail said, "We got a call from him saying he couldn't stand being with his wife and was it possible to go back to his cell?" He said he didn't want to spend another minute with her.
He said all that on the phone?
Exactly.
Wow. So he pleaded to be put back inside.
It's
and
crazy.
did he get back inside then?
So, sorry. It was a very unusual request, as we normally get inmates asking when they can leave and not if they can come in.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he was told it was not a problem. All he had to do was come back and he would go straight to his cell, and within an hour he was in prison.
But by choice?
Yeah, by choice.
No, I think we're all missing the major point here, is that how bad must his wife have been?
I don't know.
How bad must his wife have
Maybe
been?
he wasn't a very tolerant person.
It could have been that, Jenna, but I'm going with how bad his wife was.
As you know, I'm a foodaholic.
Well done on the balance, but I'm going with how bad his wife was.
As you know, I'm a foodaholic, so maybe...
You?
Yes, I'm a foodaholic.
Shock horror.
Shock.
That is sarcasm, by the way, everyone.
No one knew that, Ali.
Yeah, so I'm a foodaholic, and I think it wouldn't have been that bad unless she basically served him vomit for dinner.
Oh,
Maybe.
Are you trying to say that if your wife just cooked you good food, then you'd stay?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say.
That's what I look for in a partner.
I think the boy makes a fair point.
I think that's what I look for in a partner. If she doesn't make good biryani...
You're 12!
If she doesn't make good biryani, that's it, I'm out.
Wow, Ali. Wow, I'm worried. I'll be honest, I'm really worried. Right, is it me?
Yeah, I think it's your turn.
It's me. Okay, what have I got here? I've got assault suspect says... Oh, Jenna, you're going to love this one.
Okay, go on.
Assault suspect says he's an independent country.
Okay.
An Illinois resident facing charges of assaulting a police officer says he couldn't go on trial. Sorry, he shouldn't go on trial because he's an independent country.
So...
What does he mean?
What does he mean then? Is he fat or...
No, it's not about his size. It's about his status. He's claiming he's a country. Curtis Johnson faces 4 charges in relation to an incident in July. It's alleged he scratched and pushed a police officer after a routine traffic stop. Johnson claims he's not a US citizen, but a separate country.
What's the country called?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's in the story. Wait, he says the state's attorney doesn't have the jurisdiction to prosecute because he has diplomatic immunity. Johnson is currently free on bail and is due in court later this month. So he basically said that he's a country, and based on that, it looks like he might get off.
So he's a country, but where does he live? Can he live in a country?
Can he live in himself?
This is like a new film. So like he lives in him. In himself.
I think
I think you're struggling to come to terms with it.
Exactly. So it's just really weird.
Well, anyway, look, it's worked for him so far, right?
Yeah, so
he probably gets off, but again, not the most halal way of dealing with oneself.
I'm an
let's be
independent
honest.
Definitely not.
Jenna, what have you got?
Yeah, okay, so this one's quite funny. So I'll just read the headline as it is. Bank robber caught when money explodes in his trousers.
Oh, delightful.
Very lovely.
He must have had some front.
In the US, so this is in Ohio, and he just thought he was going to get away with it. Basically, stole a wad of cash or a couple of wads of it and put it in his.
How much is a wad of cash, by the way?
I think
people say I've got wads of cash, but is there a numerical value? So Ali,
so
go on.
there was Are
you going to make this up?
No, not really. I'm a big fan of Mythbusters, as you know.
Yes.
And there's this one episode where they were talking about money and quantities of money, and they said, how much is a wad of cash? And apparently, according to experts, a wad of cash has to be a certain weight. I don't remember a weight.
A weight?
So it's not a quantity of money, it's just a weight.
If it were in coins, it would be less than it would be in notes.
But when somebody says a wad of cash, they expect in their mind notes.
Yeah.
They don't expect coins.
No. So
you've tried to give us a fact and failed miserably, and we're none the wiser.
A little bit harsh. I think you put great value into that, Ali.
So
hang on, let her finish her story.
Okay, go on. Then.
Oh yeah. So but the anti-theft mechanism that the bank had in place was that with every wad of cash there was a little explosive die pack.
Of course.
That went went off after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And it went off after the man had stuffed the money down the front of his trousers and after he'd walked out of the bank. So this 40-year-old man was just stuck on a street corner, walking very strangely and in obvious pain in a very sensitive area.
Oh, wow.
And then police officers had stopped him and looked at this man who looked very uncomfortable and realised that from the waist down, he was covered in exploded colour dye, and
which is apparently permanent. I mean,
I didn't know it was permanent.
Really difficult to shift. Yeah. Apparently,
so that's even more horrible. But they discovered he'd been injured there, and then saw how much money he'd taken, and so not only did he have an explosion on his legs, but he'd also been arrested.
Wow.
It's not the best.
And to be honest, that is actually, I mean, those explosions are not small, right? They're like proper large.
How do they work? Then?
So basically, imagine a bag with emptied coloured ink in.
It's a pouch, not a bag, right? It's like a plastic pouch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's on a timer or if it's I don't know why we're getting into this. It's weird. I don't know if it's on a timer or if it's within a certain distance of the bag.
Something chemical, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the procedure of it.
So maybe like when you leave the bank, maybe it has like sort of tracker
possibly
or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So embarrassing nonetheless for him.
Funny though.
Funny.
I wonder where
criminal getting his just desserts is.
I wonder where the sensitive place was. I hope it was in the back pocket.
What have you got next?
I've got a weird but just crazy one. So a toddler locks an iPhone for 47 years.
No, I've heard this one today. Yeah, tell us how he did it.
So a 2-year-old in China repeatedly entered the wrong password into his mother's iPhone while trying to watch videos. And now it's locked for 25 million minutes. I repeat, million minutes, or about 47 years.
So it's locked for 47 years?
Yeah, now, when I read this, I was like, first of all, why does this have that feature? Why does an iPhone...
iPhones do that, though, because every time you put it in wrong, and another amount of time gets added.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So if you go...
I didn't think I could hate those devices any more than I...
Bit of bias there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just telling you that I do.
Quite a bit of bias there.
Yeah. But anyway, right, I've got one for you. Right, so this one should make you laugh. Burglars go back to ask for receipts is the headline.
Oh, okay.
3 burglars were arrested in Brazil after they returned to a house and asked for the receipts of the goods they had stolen. The young thieves told the owners of the house in Belo Horizonte that they were struggling to sell the stereo, TV and mobile phones because they didn't have the original receipts.
Oh my goodness.
A police spokesman told Estado de Sao Paulo, "We have never seen anything so stupid. It was obvious that when they rang the bell, the owner of the house would call us straight away and they would all be arrested. They're all underage and I think they were really just naive and thought they'd get away with going back." So they couldn't sell their stolen goods, so they went back to ask for the receipts.
And they thought that would work?
Well, I think they thought having receipts would work in the sense that they'd sell the goods, but they didn't think that they would then be caught.
That's actually quite funny, because I've got one quite along the same lines of that in terms of crime.
Let's have one last one, and then I'm going to do the community announcement.
Okay, that's fine. So what happened, there was a man who was wanted for a variety of things, but he had a variety of charges on his head.
Yeah.
And... he hadn't been caught yet, hadn't been arrested.
Yeah.
But then 3 months down the line, he applies for a job at the police station.
No.
And got through the first interview. But then for the second interview, they did background checks, called him back for the second interview, arrested him.
That is ridiculous.
And he thought he was going to get away with it.
You have to give him some credit, though.
Credit for stupidity?
Yeah, I think you have to give him credit that he thought he would get away with it.
Well, I give credit for bravado.
Yeah.
Well, is it stupidity or is it bravado?
It's just stupidity, I think.
Do you want to think that?
I think so.
Right, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for the amusing news stories. Thank you both very much for your valued input.
And yours.
It's a fiver.
And for mine.
That's a fiver, apparently.
That's a fiver, right. Okay. We don't pay our presenters here.
I'm an adult, so it's a tenner.
Oh, my goodness me. This was a mistake. Right, your mics are going down. Right, now it's time for community announcements. We've got a couple of minutes left, listeners. There's some amazing things happening. Sunday, the 18th of March at Masjid Khadija, 12 till 4 is the National Sadaqah Day. Let's do something is the tagline. So on Sadaqah Day, you can do your part and get stuck into the following activities. You can register to give blood. You can do litter picking. You can register to become a blood stem cell donor. You can visit a care home to share some cakes with our elderly, or you can plant seeds at a nursery and put your green fingers to good use. For more information, you can call our very own brother Tokia Seti on 07877 791 075, and he'll tell you more about how you can get involved with that. We've also got, of course, on Saturday the 31st of March, the Penny Appeals Family Fun Day in conjunction with Salaam Radio. There's going to be food, bouncy castle, henna, clothes, raffle and much more. Free entry, and this is for everyone, brothers and sisters, and of course children. Gladstone Park Community Centre, that's the 31st of March. And this Sunday, the 11th of March, also at Masjid Khadija, we've got an event called Who is Responsible for Raising Our Children by Yusuf Patel, founder of SRE Islamic. This is information for parents who are concerned about how sex and relationship education is taught in our schools, particularly primary schools. It's a very informative event. I implore you to get down there. If you're a parent of young children, certainly of primary school age, get down there 2 till 4, Sunday, this Sunday, the 11th of March at Masjid Khadija. Very important. And that's about all we've got time for this week. Thank you so much, listeners, for tuning in, and of course our listeners at Inspire FM. Stay tuned on Sunday for Salaam Sports, and of course please stay tuned to Salaam Radio. We'll see you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad.